the first family on earth. Two brothers. One shocking act that would stain humanity forever. What could possibly drive a man to commit the world's very first murder? Against his own brother. This isn't just an ancient story, it's a mirror reflecting the darkest corners of the human heart. Imagine this, the world is brand new. Adam and Eve, cast out of paradise, are starting over. They have two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain, the firstborn, is a farmer, a tiller of the soil. He works the land, wrestles with thorns and thistles, his hands calloused from constant labor. Abel, the younger brother, is a shepherd. He watches over his flocks, guiding them to green pastures and still waters. Two different paths, two different lives, but brothers nonetheless. The time comes for them to present an offering to God. Cain brings fruit from his harvest, the product of his sweat and toil. Abel brings the firstborn from his flock, the very best he has to offer. And then, something happens that changes everything. God accepts Abel's offering, but he does not look with favor on Cain's. Why? The Bible doesn't spell it out in black and white, but it gives us clues. It wasn't about the type of offering, fruit versus lamb. It was about the heart. Abel offered his best with a heart of faith and reverence. Cain's offering, however, seems to have been given grudgingly, perhaps as a mere obligation. His heart wasn't in the right place. And when his offering was rejected, his face fell. He wasn't sad, he was furious. A dark seed of jealousy and resentment took root in his soul. God saw this. He approached Cain directly, not with condemnation, but with a warning and a way out. He said, "Why are you angry? Why has your face fallen? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door, it desires to have you, but you must rule over it." This is one of the most powerful moments in Scripture. God is essentially telling Cain, "I see the darkness growing in you. You have a choice. You can master this feeling, or you can let it master you." Think about that in your own life. How many times have you felt that flicker of jealousy when a coworker gets a promotion? Or that sting of envy when a friend achieves something you've been striving for? That feeling, that sin crouching at the door, is a universal human experience. God's conversation with Cain is a conversation he has with all of us. He gives us the awareness and the power to choose a better path. But Cain didn't listen. Instead of looking inward and correcting his own heart, he let the poison of resentment fester. He focused his anger outward, squarely on his brother Abel. The very person who should have been his closest ally became the target of his rage. The jealousy that started as a small seed had now grown into a monstrous tree, blocking out all light and reason. And then, the unthinkable happens. Cain says to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." Once they were alone, away from the eyes of their parents, Cain rose up against his brother and murdered him. The first blood was spilled on the new earth. The sacred bond of brotherhood was shattered by envy. Abel's innocent blood cried out to God from the ground itself. This wasn't a crime of passion in the heat of the moment. It was premeditated. Cain invited him to the field. He created the opportunity. He allowed the darkness he was warned about to consume him completely. He didn't just stumble, he made a conscious decision to let sin rule over him. When God confronts Cain, asking, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain's response is chillingly defiant, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" It's a question that has echoed through the millennia. With for simple words, Cain tries to shrug off all responsibility, not just for his brother's life, but for his own actions. He adds deception to his list of sins, attempting to hide from the all-seeing eyes of God. But you can't hide from God. The ground itself bore witness. God's judgment is swift and just. He curses Cain, making the very ground he once worked refuse to yield its crops for him. He becomes a restless wanderer on the earth, forever marked by his sin. It is a powerful metaphor. The thing he put his identity in, his work as a farmer, is taken from him. His sin has separated him from his purpose, from his family, and from God. Even in this moment of judgment, we see a flicker of God's mercy. Cain cries out that his punishment is more than he can bear, that anyone who finds him will kill him. So God puts a mark on Cain, not as a badge of shame, but as a sign of protection, promising that he will not be killed. Even in the face of the most heinous sin, God does not completely abandon his creation. He preserves life, showing that his grace can reach even into the deepest darkness. So, what is the ultimate lesson of this tragic story? It's a profound warning about the destructive power of comparison and jealousy. Cain didn't just want what Abel had, he resented Abel for having it. He saw his brother's success not as something to celebrate, but as a personal insult. He measured his own worth against his brother's and found himself lacking, and that feeling ate him alive. How often do we do this today? We scroll through social media, seeing curated highlight reels of other people's lives, their perfect vacations, their successful businesses, their happy relationships, and we feel that same dark whisper Cain heard. Why them and not me? That is sin, crouching at the door. The story of Cain and Abel teaches us that the moment we start comparing our journey to someone else's, we are on a dangerous path. The antidote to Cain's sin is Abel's heart. It's a heart of gratitude, faith, and generosity. It's about focusing on giving your best. Not worrying about whether it looks better or worse than someone else's. It's about celebrating the successes of others as if they were your own. It's about answering Cain's defiant question with a resounding yes. I am my brother's keeper. We have a responsibility to look out for one another, to build each other up, not tear each other down. This ancient story is not just a history lesson, it's a daily choice. Will you let envy and resentment rule you, leading to bitterness and isolation? Or will you choose to master those feelings, to cultivate a heart of gratitude, and to be a source of support and love for those around you? The choice that was before Cain is before each of us, every single day. Choose to build, not to destroy. Choose love, not envy. Choose Abel's path, not Cain's. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the Bible's most foundational stories. If this message resonated with you and you want to explore more timeless wisdom from the scriptures, make sure to subscribe to the Bible Nation HQ. Click that bell icon so you never miss a video. We'll see you in the next one.